What's going on, everybody? This is your man, Dr. John C. Turner, aka the Professor JT, and we are here with this special edition of the Doc Chat Show. I got my man with me, Dr. Whitty. Dr. Whitty, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing great. Great. Glad to be here. Looking forward to the conversation tonight. I hope people tuning in.
We love it. We love it. Hey, if you are tuning in to us, you checking us out, let us know where you're tuning in from. Say hello. We want to make sure we get these comments because we're talking about a very, very important topic tonight. And we want to make sure that we get everything you got to say to us because we want to hear it here on the Doc Chat Show. Now, we got another guest that'll be coming on soon. We want to make sure he gets on. So we might be a little bit. So, hey, I want to give Dr. Whitty a little bit of time to talk about who he is, talk about his doctorate degree, what he did his doctorate research in, and even a little bit about his business that he's doing now as he has his own podcast as well. So the floor is yours, Dr. Whitty.
Oh, wow. First, thank you for having me. I think this is my second time on the Doc Chat.
Believe so.
I'm so glad that you are back up and running. I've been waiting for these episodes because they are very enlightening and empowering as well. So thank you for having me on. A little bit about me. So, wow. This is great. Anyway, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. Born and raised there. Well, I wasn't born there, but I was raised there. I was actually born in Germany. But I was raised in Baltimore, Maryland. And so a little bit about me. I graduated with a doctorate in IO psychology. The focus was on leadership development and coaching. The dissertation that I did, it focused on cultural humility. And basically my topic was talking about cultural humility as a predictor of an employee's intention to leave their place of employment. And so the study was trying to see, based on whether or not an organization had culturally humble leadership, would that impact an employee's intention to stay or leave their organization? So that was a bit of my research. So, like I said, my background is in leadership development and coaching. I recently launched my own website. What is it? www.drwhitty.org. And I also have a podcast called Higher Level Learning. And so that's getting off the ground. So I hope to be putting out some episodes in the future. So anybody have some ideas, just shoot them to me and we'll talk about it. We'll have a conversation.
We love that. We love that. And we appreciate all the work that you're doing. We appreciate you getting your doctorate degree done. And where'd you get your doctorate degree done at? One more time.
Walden University.
All right.
Walden University.
We love that. We love that. There he is. My God.
Dr. All right.
Hunter Thomas. Man, you was lost. I think you was in the secret place or whatever they call it, the hidden place. Man, where was you at, man?
I was in the sunken place.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
I'm glad I found it. Thank you for having me on. I told you multiple times that I claim you as one of my mentors. I know you probably didn't want to be my mentor, but I claim you. So it's an honor to be on with you today. Just want to thank you. You know, you kind of see me graduate, and then you see me find some jobs. I'm a graduate of, I went to University of Hawaii, West Oahu for my bachelor's degree. Then I got my master's at University of Hawaii, Manoa. Then I went to my hometown school, Drexel University. I completed my doctorate in education, leadership, and management at Drexel. I graduated just this last June.
Yeah, both of y'all just 2023 graduates, doctorate degree graduates.
August for me.
Yeah. And then after I graduated, I mean, I must have put out just a ton of resumes and things like that, trying to find work.
Yeah.
And I ended up landing jobs at 3 different universities. So,
yeah.
Obviously, I'm just adjunct, but I'm a professor of educational leadership at Purdue University. I'm also at Hampton University. And then my last one, I work at the University of Hawaii. I am a coordinator for a STEM fellowship in the College of Engineering at the University of Hawaii. And that's what I do.
We love it, man. We love it. We got folks tuning in. If you are tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know where you're checking us out from. Austin, we appreciate you, my guy over there in South Carolina. I'm telling you, now you are looking at 3 Black males. Now, Dr. London, where are you at again? Because I think you're kind of on the East Coast as well.
I'm in Hawaii.
Oh, you're in Hawaii? Oh, okay, man. Is it morning? Is it night? What time is it out there?
It's 3 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock here.
3 o'clock.
And I'm supposed to be at track practice, but I can't. I didn't go today. They're practicing, but I'm not practicing today. I'm a head track coach as well. So.
Oh man, you're a busy guy. Well, we appreciate it. We hope all is well for Hawaii, my God. That's for sure. That is for sure. We love it. We love it. We're gonna jump right into it. We're not gonna waste no time. We appreciate the folks that are tuning in. Like I said, if you are tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. This is the Doc Chat Show. We appreciate y'all. My good friend, Dr. Drayton from ATL. He's doing great things down there. Has been a guest on the Doc Chat Show. We appreciate you. Now, this topic is very, very dear to our hearts because we're trying to figure out what's up. I don't know about you all. I was talking to Dr. Whitty. I remember years ago, Black History Month was a staple of the year for myself. My mother used to take us to museums. We used to go see individuals that used to do cultural dances, and you used to learn history. You used to know about Carter G. Woodson and his Negro History Week and all those different types of things. You knew about Black History Month, but what's going on? We're not seeing the speakers anymore. Y'all definitely not paying the Black people to come speak no more. I'm telling you, we try to figure out what has happened. So I'm going to start with Dr. London, because you had even brought up something, even with you talking with your students about Black History Month. Tell us a little bit about that story, and let's kind of go into what is really the current state of Black History Month. What do you think is going on?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say I've been doing some reflecting on my own. I'm not a finished work concerning Black History Month. I'm still learning what Black History Month is supposed to be and what it means to me.
Well, it should be. Yeah.
So I came up with 3 different words. I'm kind of like, I'm reassessing, I'm remembering, and I'm reaffirming. So I got a few things to share. So first, like over the last few weeks, I've been taking some time to sort of like get reacquainted with like the struggle, both personal and corporate. And, you know, I'm a coach, and, you know, one of the reflexive things that we do in coaching is we watch film. So I kind of been going back and sort of watching the film. You know, it's kind of a way of stepping out of myself and just kind of viewing the situation in a different perspective. So I came across some great films like on school integration. And I also took like just some time to think about my own experience growing up in the education system, sort of experiencing integration and how literally our parents and our aunties were throwing their children on the front line, you know, in order to have access to education.
That's right. That's
for their children. Yeah. And I was one of those kids on the front line. And, you know, thinking about that and kind of thinking about how, so I teach a class, it's called Diversity, Equity, Inclusion in Education Context. That's my class that I teach. I have 34 students.
Oh, wow. Okay.
These 2 classes, doctoral students. And basically we each week we go through a different theory, you know, critical race theory, disability theory, and whatnot. But it all ends up with basically talking about the 14th Amendment. And basically all these arguments and fights that we're having about, you know, disability rights or LGBT, you know, BTQ rights or civil rights, all these things are all hinging on the 14th Amendment. And the reality is a lot of groups benefited from the work that we put in.
That's right.
We watched the film. You can see them, with the fire hoses, they spraying the kids, in the street, and all the people that got arrested and beat up, and all the things that happened, and all the experiences that I had being labeled certain type of student and this type of thing, and going through all these different things. But in the end, everybody else really feels like they kind of benefited from like affirmative action and all these things, but we never got it. We still haven't got it. Like our schools are even more segregated than they've ever been. And when I'm watching the film, the arguments that they had back in the 70s, I'm saying 70s, I'm not even saying 60s, in the 70s are exactly the same as they are now. And then last week, I was grading one of my students' papers, and in the paper he said, literally what he said was that because of affirmative action, he wasn't able to get into college. And he was using the language of oppression and the language that we use, but he was using it for himself. So now we have
is this a white guy or is this a black guy?
Yeah. We have a whole
white student.
We have a new generation of people who now feel that they're getting less. I don't know what they're getting less of, but they feel like they're getting less. So now it's even harder for us to make our case that we need equity, meaning that we may need a little bit more in order to have access to the same things that you have, And so that's a struggle. That's a real struggle. And so I enjoy teaching my class. What my class allows me to do is it allows me to, number one, help my students come out of the matrix, right? Get out of the matrix of like social constructs, such as race or disability or whatever. Pull them out of their entrapment in social constructs and bring them out into reality, and for them to see the possibilities and the choices that they can have through their leadership, and the advocacy they can have through their research, and that to think about how they're not going to transfer their sort of trauma, thinking about not transferring their trauma onto the new students that they're going to be leading. So that's kind of the goal of the class that I teach. And it kind of ends up with them creating a equity plan for a school for all students, not just certain groups of students, but creating an environment that is conducive, that's creating an environment where all students can thrive. Because I think sometimes the focus starts to be on, oh, well, we got to focus on the Black students. Oh, we got to focus on the Asian students. We got to focus on all the different theories. But really, I really believe that what we were saying and what we've always been saying is that we want all people to thrive, that we can all thrive together. And to me, that's kind of what I feel like my responsibility is, looking at Black History Month, even though I feel like, obviously, the cliche is Black history is American history, but that it is American history. But I feel it's kind of like a slight to have Black History Month, but at the same time, you're happy that you have it. But it does feel like a slight. I don't even know if our younger groups of African-American students even understand what their parents or their grandparents went through, because they don't talk about it. Like our parents don't talk about what they went through. Our grandparents don't talk about what they went through. So that's good. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's my speech.
We just get started. I love it because I just appreciate you for even saying you're still in the higher ed space, you're still in the education space, even talking about Black History Month, because honestly, it doesn't feel like folks are doing it too much anymore. It's kind of disservice to learning about, we can't learn about where we're going if we don't know where we came from. I think that's a big piece of it. As we are here today on the Doc Chat Show, I got Dr. London Thompson. I have Dr. Whitty, my God, Dr. Whitfield with me. these are some brand new docs. You know what I'm saying? They still, checking out their wings out here at that Dr. Degree, and I appreciate them. I appreciate them being on today. They got my guy, Dr. Ron Miller. He's checking in. He's a brand new doc as well. I appreciate you down there in Austin, Texas. We appreciate you right now checking us out. If you're checking us out here on the Doc Chat Show, let us know. Go ahead and let us know where you're checking us out from. We appreciate everybody that checks out the Doc Chat Show, and we got some great stuff that's coming. As season 3 will be starting in March, we can't wait to get it rolling. Now, Dr. Woody, we're going to get the floor to you. Kind of your thoughts on the state of Black History Month. Man, what's going on with it? How do you feel about it? What have you seen? What's on your heart today?
I tell you what, I agree with a lot of what Dr. Thompson talked about. In particular, when he talked about the stories are just not being told. I remember when I was growing up that there was a lot of different stories that were being told by a lot of the older people in my neighborhood and the older people that were at my elementary school in particular. I remember the stories that they shared. I can even remember the Black History Month programs that we had each year. And I even remember in particular one time when I was actually in one of the programs as a Black guy named UB Blake. He was some sort of musician that I wasn't even aware of. But I just remember that. But when you bring it on up to today, you don't see the storytelling and you don't really see the interest. But I think the interest is because of the lack of storytelling by those who have the stories. So I think if we get the storytelling back, that some of the interest will come back, and then we'll see those programs start to come back. I think about something that Dr. Thompson was talking about as well when he mentioned a colleague, and I thought to myself, wow, that's the same experience that I had, even though different terms were used. He didn't say affirmative action, but it was myself and another person in my organization who happened to be Caucasian, had applied for the same job. And the person was talking to me about it. And when he found out that I applied, it's almost like he had an attitude about the whole situation. And after he felt like I had something up on him, number one, because I'm Black, number two, because I'm a veteran. And I said, well, hold on, just because I'm Black and just because I'm a veteran doesn't mean that I'm gonna get the position. But in his mind, those two reasons automatically gave me the position, and he felt like he was at a disadvantage. But if we could have this conversation again, obviously I didn't get the position is what I would tell him. So he was wrong. So whatever the factor was that came into play, someone else got the position. But I just wanted to say that because it reminded me of what Dr. Thompson brought out. But to your point, Black history, I think a lot of it is disappearing because the lack of storytelling, the lack of interest. I even had this conversation recently at my organization because I was sitting there one day and I said, why haven't we had a Black History Month? I haven't seen any email about Black history. And I wondered why. And so I talked to my supervisor. I said, maybe that might be for us to do. But nevertheless, that's where we were. Nothing was being done about it until actually yesterday, I think it was, where it was another employee that was having an event at our training center had mentioned that she was actually putting together a Black history program, but it was not for the employees. It was actually for the inmates where I work. So at least something's going out there, right?
Right. But y'all are doing the work too. Y'all deserve some type of Black History Month celebration as well, because I mean, at least y'all working there, giving them something, giving the inmates something.
Yeah.
I'm just excited because this conversation is rolling in a good direction right now. My guy, Dr. Harry Drake, I appreciate you. He is right. It is a great conversation. We appreciate you tuning in. Now, if you are in the comments, I want you to talk about some things you remember from when you grew up, what Black History Month was. What did it mean to you? What does it mean to you? And I'm going to go back to Dr. Thompson because I want to just flat out ask the question: is it alive and well, Black History Month, or is it dying? Are people trying to kill it? Like they're trying to kill DEI, like they're trying to kill sometimes us? What is happening truly to Black History Month? And what are some things you really would say need to happen, a solution to keep it going?
Yeah, I think we struggle because, I mean, it's a culture thing, right? So like other cultures have like their months, they have like the Irish celebrations or different celebrations. But what we're doing is we're sort of reinventing ourselves. Like we're like making up stuff. And what happens when we're making up stuff is everybody's making up something different. And so we're not actually meeting in the middle to do anything, to do something together. So it's just kind of like, it's not that maybe people don't want to have it, but nobody's really agreed like when the party starts, like, or like
That's good. That's
like,
good.
what are we gonna do? Like, because
Right.
everyone's just like, they have their own ways of doing it. And then on top of that, I think that a lot of the things that we do have been co-opted. So we don't have like our own music or even our own clothes anymore. We don't have our own, we don't really have, it's like Black History Month, and then okay, here comes the slavery, we're gonna watch Roots again, or maybe we'll get into this, but we don't really ever hark back to where we're from. You know what I mean? Like we don't learn about Africa, where we're from. And sometimes you feel kind of shameful to even say that. You feel weird to be like, well, yeah, that's where I'm from, but I don't even know much about it. Like if I went there, they wouldn't even claim me, but that's where I'm from. I want to learn more about it. I want to develop a connection with my true history. My history doesn't start in the cotton fields. That's and right. I can't keep holding up, we created peanut butter. Like I gotta have more. I gotta have more, you know what I'm saying? And just going around saying, hey, what up, king? What up, queen? Like that's not gonna get it either. So I think we really do need some leadership to, like I was thinking, wow, maybe I need to do like a qualitative study of my own family. Maybe each one of us need to do that. Like interview the people in our family and get these stories and write papers about it, publish books on it. We need to go to our family, all of us PhDs, we should get these stories, use our qualitative research skills, speak to our aunties and uncles and grandfathers and great grandfathers and kind of document these stories and publish it. I don't know, like maybe that's what I need to do. I feel like that's a way of I guess what I'm saying, having a real Black History Month. Like what I mean is like we're bringing something to the table that is substantive, a way of, I'm not sure, but that's just kind of my thinking.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's some good thoughts, because I believe I seen something that for me was kind of asinine, kind of blew me away. And no dig to the work she does. I think Jane Elliott does great work. But she got invited to an MLK celebration to be the speaker on MLK Day. Now, I know we talking about Black History Month, but I pretty much put those simultaneously. But it's kind of like, wow, this is where we at. We're asking people from another persuasion to come and speak on the history of Black people and the significance of MLK. And it was something she said that was interesting, and Dr. Thompson kind of touched on it. She said herself, she was like, we have to realize Black history did not start with Black people in slavery. You see Dr. Whitty here, he got the continent of Africa around his neck. That's where Black history started. And Dr. London jumped into that and stating, just flat out honest, we need to go back to Africa where it really started. And I'm going to go ahead and give it to you, Dr. Whitty, kind of your thoughts. Is it alive and well, or is it just dying? Are people killing it off? Where is Black History Month right now?
Well, I first want to say Black history, I think, is being has been reduced to, and I don't want to say this in a derogatory way, but I think Black History a long time ago was more than just a month. It was something that people lived. It was a part of their being. So that made the month that more exciting. And it's like now it's nothing more than, a heritage month or some month that, when we go to work today, we're going to set aside 30 minutes or an hour and we're going to learn about Black history. And then now we become this, better informed person on Black history, but it's more than that. So, and then when you think about it, Black people, we were never intended to be educated in the first place. So now when we talk about getting rid of Black history, the way I see it, it's been a part of the agenda since way back. Don't let us know where we come from. Don't let us know the power that we possess inside of ourselves. Don't let us know. Don't let us know what we can accomplish if we have conversations, if we stick together, if we band together. That there's nothing that we can't achieve or accomplish. And so, it's no surprise to me that people are trying to get Black history thrown out and using every excuse in the book. So, but I think what it's going to boil down to is us coming together and being interested and being committed and getting out here, running for local office, going to the schools, being a part of the curriculum development process to figure and to make to not allow this to go away, if you will. So I think it is trying to be killed off. And if we don't get together, if we don't stop allowing ourselves to be distracted by everything that's going on, by all the stuff that's going on in social media and out there in the culture that has nothing to do with us moving forward or growing as a people, if we don't put that stuff away, then the agenda to get rid of our history, it'll happen.
Trying to pull up what I sent these gentlemen the other day so we can kind of see this is what Black History Month has been shortchanged to in this day and age. Make sure I could just pull it up here. Make sure that went through. Yeah. All these ads. Goodness. You don't want to do that. So just the other day, this is what happened in a school where for Black History Month, the teacher goes viral for having a colored and white entrance on a classroom door. And it's kind of showing right now, we don't even know what to teach when it comes to Black history anymore. When stuff of this nature is happening at the schools, like what are we thinking when we're doing these type of things? And so I want to throw it back, Dr. Thompson, when we're looking at things like this, what are your thoughts when you saw this and I sent this article over to you?
Yeah, it's almost like a trope, right? We just keep going. We keep going back to the old sob story, the separate drinking fountains, and the so and so. That's not our history. That's American. That's something that was done to us, but that's not our history. Our history is before that. And I think that as education leaders, what we have to do is we have to actually create the story. We have to tell the story. I'm guilty of it myself. I'm just saying, we really do need to. I guess we're waiting for someone else to, what I'm saying? We're like, dang, where's Jesse at? Or whatever. We need someone to jump in and tell the story. And it's like, oh snap, it's us. It's us. We're the grown-ups now. We literally have to give people the words and the frameworks and the theories to be able to talk about this. And to be honest with you, I'm at a loss. I'm not there. I'm not like some professional at this stuff. But yeah, I really do think we need to take the lead on providing the language and the frameworks for educators, K through 12 educators and our college professors as well, to actually unpack this stuff and to talk about it, because I think that the only thing you have to go back to is those doors right there. It's there's more to it than that.
It's true.
It's
That's
sad.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. Doc Whitty, your thoughts when you saw this article, and then even kind of what are we even teaching these young kids anymore when it comes to Black History Month?
When I saw it, I wasn't sure what to think about it, actually, because in one sense, I thought, well, I could see why a teacher might want to teach this point or show this as a reality that there used to be. But then I can also see that from someone else's perspective, it might be, well, it used to be that way, but we're going back and we're focusing too much on that. So I kind of see both perspectives. However, I just agree. I agree with what you said. I agree with Dr. London said, that we've done a lot of Black history has been portrayed as us being the victim, so to speak. And we don't learn enough about the fact that, first of all, we had our own civilization. We were kings and queens and educators and scientists and God knows what else we might have been doing, but we had our own universities. We were trading. We was doing a lot of things in our own civilization. And so that's how we started. We didn't start off, on a ship trying to get away from our slave master or whatever. And so I think now in today's time, a lot of us and our children too have kind of gotten a little tired of the same stories over the years about, us working in the cotton field or us running from the slave master. And so I guess what we need to start doing is revisiting some of the other stories of where we actually came from, to show how we actually got to slavery and now no longer there and never going back, I might add. So I think we could even do what Dr. Thompson said, ask those questions. And I'll use myself for existence. I had a lot of older family members in my family that passed away at ages of above 90, above 93. My dad, as a matter of fact, I just recently moved in with me, and I'm just now learning things about him at 70, 72. At 72, I'm just learning things about him that I never knew because I didn't grow up with him. So we've got to find out all of these stories and how they relate to us, how they relate to our struggles, our successes, our being, our failures, everything, to be able to appreciate and to value where we come from as a people. The same for Black history. A lot of our kids today can't relate. It's not a value to them because we have not shown them the value. So what they value is what they see out there in social media, and that's what they try to portray themselves as, not knowing that, hey, I come from something much better than that, and I still have everything in me, and I don't need to go to outside sources to tell me who I am. And so we have to do better at pulling those answers, pulling those stories out of our people back at home and around the world. And like Dr. Thompson said, maybe we need to do a study. Hey, maybe we need to do a study and say, where are you from? What experiences did you have? Ask our kids, what is it about Black history that you would like to know? What is it about Black history that makes you uncomfortable? What is it about Black history? Find out so that we can, instead of putting out into courses and curriculum what we think may be best, then it's better to get the perspective of several generations from various backgrounds and to say, okay, come to the table, have a conversation. I think these are the things that we should talk about, and this is why, and present the value in it.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Got Dr. London Thompson. We got Dr. Woody here. We are on the Doc Chat Show. The comments are coming in. We appreciate y'all so much. Great doctors, great Black male doctors, as a matter of fact, coming in with great comments, checking us out. You know, sometimes you got to check out the Doc Chat Show because y'all probably ain't seen this many Black male doctors ever in one place. But we here and we giving knowledge, we giving solutions, and that's what we do here on the Doc Chat Show. Now, let me give a little bit of history. The History Channel always, every single year, does a great update on Black History Month. And I'm not saying I had to check somebody on LinkedIn, but you get a lot of why is Black History Month always the shortest month of the year? Where there's history to that. The great Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who created Negro History Week, did it because of President's Day and the individuals who got saluted during Black History Month. That's why it was created. That's why it was created in February. We have to know these different types of histories and all the histories, not just of the ones we talk about all the time, but some of those things that we didn't realize. There's a theme every single year for Black History Month. A lot of people don't realize that. This year is African Americans and the arts. That is a huge thing to know. Every single year they do a Black History Month theme. And then all the great people that's done so many great things in our history, all the things that sometimes we forget about, that we want to make sure individuals know our history just isn't put into 1 month. It's a whole entire life cycle of individuals who came together and did different things that we want to make sure individuals know about. So I'm going to give it back to Dr. Thompson. Tell us something Black history wise that you feel like people don't know that they should know. That's very important as we're continuing to move forward in learning about what truly Black history is.
Well, I'm just gonna tell on myself, really. You know, I have kids. I have 5 sons, right? And one of the most uncomfortable times of the year is when they have like culture day. They'll be like, "Yeah, we're gonna have culture day," and we live in Hawaii, so you know, you're gonna have Hawaiian culture, Asian culture, and whatnot. And then it's kind of like, wow, how do you define what kind of food are we gonna bring? Like, what is that? It's
Yeah.
it's tough, bro. That's a tough conversation to have with your son. Like, you know, let's go find out together. Let's research. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, what I mean is like,
Oh yeah,
there's such a gap, missing information, and we don't get to participate in a lot of the things that other people take for granted. You know, just something as simple as we're having culture day, and then you're like, what kind of food are we bringing? You know, it's like, wow, that's deep. That's a struggle. That's something I need to work on. I feel like what you just shared right now is something that I didn't even know. So telling on myself, I didn't even know about what you just shared just now. Again, I mean, that's just basically showing that I went through my whole academic career and I was never told about who created Black History Month. So for me personally, I feel like I want to spend more time sort of educating myself as to, you know, who I am and where I'm from. What I can say from my experience, when you tend to be the only one, where like wherever you go, like, you know, the only Black professor, or you're the only Black coach, you're literally the only Black person on campus. It's scary. Like for me this week, I had a class yesterday and I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about Black History Month. We started off the class talking about that. But I was a little, even inside of me, I was a little bit afraid because I didn't know how it was going to be taken or what would happen. And so I spent, 5-10 minutes talking about Black History Month, and then we moved on to whatever it was. And then tomorrow I'm going to do Black History Month with my track team. But it's still scary because you don't know how the parents are going to react to it. You don't know what's going to happen. Like, you just don't, you know what I'm saying? It's like you just, you know, it's weird because somebody else could show up talking about something else and everything will be fine. But if I show up and I start talking about Black History Month, I don't really know what's going to happen. You really don't know. So it is kind of scary, but it's a responsibility. Like, I know that I need to do this. I know that I need to expose the kids to this. I need them to understand how important it is for them to see that they have a Black coach and how that's not normal. That, you know, that they have me there to give them a perspective that they wouldn't have. So I'm going to do it, but I'm a little nervous. So yeah.
It's real, you know, because we're in this day and time where everything about us is getting downplayed. And they want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of DEI. They want to get rid of our books. They want to get rid of anything that has to do with us. But what people don't realize, y'all the one that brought us over here. So how are you going to get rid of our greatness when you brought us over here to be great? We were going to be great regardless. We're God's people, and we were going to be great regardless. And so that's why it's so hard, and it's understandable sometimes to talk about this stuff, because we're not sitting here trying to act like we're better than anybody else. We're just letting you know the resiliency that comes with being Black is real. And hey, I want you to go ahead and teach them something. Now, it's crazy because we got to slide it in sometimes. We might have to be like, hey, let's run a lap. Boom, they come back. Hey, do you know about, you know, Carl Lewis and how great he was? Or do you know about even Randall Cunningham, who's now the head coach of UNLV right now, and his daughter, who is about to go for the high jump championship in the Olympics. All those different types of things. It's crazy. We got to throw in our own facts when it comes to learning and teaching others, because we don't want to offend somebody. There was a paper that went out in a school system, and on the paper, the parents had to check yes or no if their kids can learn anything about Black history during Black History Month. It's crazy where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So Dr. Woody, we're going to go ahead and give it to you. What should people know? What is there something that you know that you feel like people should know about this once it comes to Black History Month?
I think somebody said it in the chat. We were never slaved. We were never slaves. We were just enslaved.
Yeah, that's good.
It's the same thing that's going on now. Enslaved in the mind. One of the things that's important too, shout out to Ashley, she said it in her statement, that we need to learn, we all need to learn, and we need to learn together. And I think that's why I've fallen in love with this term called cultural humility, which is what I talked about earlier in my study. It derived from the term cultural intelligence and a few other words it derived from, but I'm pointing that out because I think Dr. Thompson said it. He said, I just learned something about my own culture a few seconds ago that I probably feel like I should have known, right? So that's him being culturally humble.
We're not going to take his black card or anything. We're not going to do that.
That's him saying, I don't know all there is to know about my own culture, and I need to learn. And it's the same thing for all of us. I think the reason why we get uncomfortable is because we don't even know enough about our own history and enough about our own culture. And so even when we start to talk about it, we get uncomfortable. Or if we're challenged, we get uncomfortable because we don't know enough of our own history. So we have to first take a look at ourselves and say, okay, I need to be more culturally humble. I need to say, okay, what is it that I need to know that I don't know about my own self, my own culture? And know that once you learn those things, that doesn't make you an expert. It just makes you somebody who have learned something more for you to share. Because it's an ongoing, a lifelong process that continues throughout your lifetime. And so it's the same thing, which is why we live in such a fear-based world, is because everybody thinks they know everything there is to know about the other person, and we don't. And the only way that we will learn is to adopt a culturally humble attitude and say, well, you know what, I don't know, and I don't want to put everybody in a box. So let me have this conversation with you, the person that's right here in front of me, or the people that's right here in front of me. Let me learn more about your culture and the aspects of your culture that are important to you. Not what I think, not thinking, well, all Black people are this way, or all Hispanics are that way, or all white people are this way. No, it's like, okay, let me back up and say, okay, let me learn so that I can be able to identify, so that I can see and learn and have better conversations and not be in fear about what this person might say or do, or how they might come off at me in a conversation or whatever. So I think it's education, it's willingness. We have to put away the ego and get rid of the mugs, get rid of the t-shirts, get rid of the degrees and certificates, and say, I am a lifelong learner. Let's learn together. So I think that's what we have to do. I think when we do that, a lot of the fear, a lot of all this, back and forth, let's take this out of school, all of that will go away.
That's
but
good.
It's going to take people, willing people, to set aside their own egos and to get this done.
That's good. That's good. You're here on the Doc Chat Show, everybody. Dr. Thompson, Dr. Whitty, and I ain't gonna hold back. He looked like he ready to speak. Go ahead, Dr. Thompson. You got something on your mind, man? Go ahead with it, my guy.
I was gonna add. I mean, and I know I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna make an assumption, but I know all of us kind of have that hole in our heart. Like there's something there, and sometimes you got to cry a little bit. You'll be thinking about something, or you'll see something. We have something in us that other people don't have. Like there's a trauma that's in us that sometimes we'll be, watching something, even if it's happening, like something that's happening in Ukraine, or something that's happening to another group of people that's not right. We have a cultural competence that it affects us deeply. Like, and you understand it, and you're like, look, if we don't stop this, then they're coming for the rest of us. Like for some reason, we feel like we have something in us, like an alarm clock, and we actually, how can I say, we are more American from the standpoint of we want this to work, this whole experiment to work, and we're willing to put our lives on the line for the democracy experiment to succeed. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what's left out of the Black history story, which is like we hear a lot about, the Civil War and the guys in the blue and the guys in the gray, but we don't really hear about that third strand, which was Black folk in the middle of all of that, who actually never actually got out of the war. Like they stopped fighting and then turned on us for the next 400 years. You know what I mean? For whatever, for hundreds of years, they stopped fighting and turned on us. And up until this point, they've been trying to, we've been in a battle. Really, our success is really America's success.
That's good.
Our ability to thrive and succeed is opening up the gates for everybody else. You know what I mean? It's opening up the gates for every other group. And we have a heart, and we have a heart for other groups, for other people that I don't know. I think that other people, like, what I'm saying is I could be, each week in the class, we teach a different theory, right? So I could be on gender theory, and everybody's super excited. Boom, boom, boom. And then the next week we're talking about Black folk, and everyone's like, oh God, here we go again. And then the next week we're on, disability theory, and all the disabled people are all hyped up, ready to go. And what I mean is, like, I think people get sick of hearing, they're kind of tired of hearing our story. They can't really empathize with it, but we're able to empathize with theirs because of our experience. Like, they haven't actually experienced what we've gone through, like all the things that our parents had to do, or that are in us. They haven't had that same trauma. And I think we sometimes expect people to rise to a level that maybe they can't even get to that level. Maybe we just need to focus on ourselves a little bit, you know?
Yeah. You know, you talked about something that is so key is there is no America without us. And the fact that we're trying to keep our place as far as being a part of America it's almost traumatizing because, you know, there is no White House without us. You know, Michelle Obama talked about how she knew she lived in a house that was built by Black people. And I privy to push people to not say slaves, say Black people. Every time you see the word slave, replace it with Black people. I promise it'll change your notion on who we are and how they treated Black people, because we weren't slaves. And we have to look at, just like Dr. Thompson said, look at the wars that we won. There was no winning of, was it World War II without the Red Tails? And I remember even in the days when, for Black History Month, during those months, AMC or the movie theaters would play Black movies you could go to. $5 you can go to, you can learn your history. They don't even really do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, with you being a track coach, Dr. Thompson, you know, you look at Jesse Owens and how Hitler did not shake his hand after he won that Olympics all those years ago. And you look at how a lot of these particular Olympics now wouldn't be anything without us in it. Jamaica and America, that's it. Track and field, that's it. Like, there's nobody else. And how great we were with Jackie Robinson and how amazing he was. People don't know, if you look at him statistically, he was the greatest baseball player ever. He had to be, because he was Black. He was the first one. He had to be. Dr. Whitty, we're going to give you the floor, my guy. I'm telling you, boy, we could be on fire tonight. I'm telling y'all, but we ain't going to keep y'all too much longer. But I'm going to let Dr. Whitty have his stance. Kind of what's your thoughts? What are you thinking right
now? Well, I want to make sure now, what did you ask another question?
Just thinking about Black history as a whole, just kind of as you're thinking about us moving forward, what can we do so we can make sure it is a staple for the next generations when we do hit February every single year?
I think it's like everybody's saying here is we've got to learn. We've got to learn. We've got to tell the stories. We've got to ask the questions, and it can't be. We have to go back to celebrating ourselves, and you know, more than just a month. It has to be a lifetime celebration, so that when we get to that month, it's like a no-brainer. It's like second nature. You know, everybody's excited. It's like Christmas. Everybody's excited. Everybody, there's no question. It doesn't matter. Well, for the most part, anyway, if you ask the average person what their favorite holiday is, most people say Christmas. Now, there's some people that may not like it for various reasons. Maybe something tragic happened, whatever. And, you know, but for the most part, a lot of people will say Christmas. So it's kind of like we've got to make Black history a part of us in here. So when we get to the actual Black History Month, we're not putting on a show. This is something we are living. We're not just trying to get people to come out to a program, but we are in this because we are displaying the fact that we are empowered people, and that we're bringing the generations that are coming. We're demonstrating to them who they're coming from and what they have the potential to become. It's just like when we were coming up, we had those examples that made us think, well, if so-and-so could do this, so can I. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the same thing with our generation. If so-and-so can do this, so can I. But we have to make sure that they're not just looking at the people that they don't necessarily need to become like. because there's some false pictures out there. Say, for instance, how people are chasing this glamorous look, you know, and half the people that are out there looking like that, that's not even them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a distractor that our young people are going after, because they feel like they are nobody if they don't have long hair, or if they're not tatted up, or if they don't know how to use the latest signs, or whatever the case might be, because this is what they're bombarded with every single day. And so we have to get back to giving them some positive pictures of who they are and who they can become. And a lot of that starts with us, because a lot of us have gone astray, if you will, because a lot of us have not taken the time to better ourselves, to learn, to do anything. And so a lot of their examples are coming from us, people from our generations. I was just watching a movie last night, which I can't think of the name of it, but to go back to Dr. Thompson's point about how he said it was a good thing to go back and revisit old movies. And I had stumbled across a movie that I had never seen before in my life. It kind of reminded me of Lean on Me, but it was Denzel Washington, probably one of his first movies or something. But he was a principal of a high school, I think in, I want to say in California or somewhere. And it kind of reminded me of Lean on Me. That was a piece of history. But as I looked at that story, I thought, wow, that same thing is still going on today. It's just a little different. The picture is a little different, but it's still going on. There's still this battle to try to get the generation to see and know and be who they are, because they're trying to be, do, and know everything that is not really them. And so the point I'm trying to make is, in the story, there was a father and a son, and Denzel, the principal, was standing outside, and he heard yelling. He was standing outside the front of the school, and he heard yelling. And he looked over, and the father was trying to grab the son and beat him to make him get into the truck, because he wanted him to leave school to help him with his junkyard business. So Denzel intervened, and the guy jumped in his truck and drove off. But then a couple weeks later, the father showed up at school and was doing the same thing. And Denzel intervened and said, hey, you know, I'm going to call the cops if you don't get out of here. And then the guy said, well, I need him to come and work. No, he's not going to get anywhere learning about this and learning about that. That's not going to help him. And Denzel asked him a question. He said, why won't you just let him be? Why is it so hard for you to let him be instead of trying to make him out to have your experience? And then the guy said, well, the only experience I know is what I'm doing and being enslaved and not being able to have opportunities and not being able to do this. And so he went to this other guy's house, and he advocated for the guy to sign this piece of paper, like you guys mentioned. He had to sign a piece of paper because Denzel was trying to implement a new curriculum into the school to help empower the children. But he had to get signatures from the parent. He went to one parent, and it was a bunch of black guys sitting around playing poker, and they showed no interest in what Denzel was talking about.
Wow.
So that is some of us today. No interest, just sitting around playing poker, playing the video games, watching YouTube. No interest in what's going on with our kids. And so our kids are looking to social media, and that's why some of them are jumping off bridges when they get bullied. They're taking pills. They're setting up all kind of websites to collect money from showing themselves, all sorts of things. Why? Because it's incumbent upon us to show them who they are, and not let other people tell them who they are. So I think we need to do a better job at that.
That's good. That's good. We got a couple comments here. to make sure we get those in. Amazing comment from Ashley. As we really have to reclaim our throne and heritage and really start that journey and remember who we are, remember who we came from and where we came from. And I think so many times we forget about that because we're too busy looking at what's going on and what everybody else is doing. And my God, Dr. Trent Watson, we appreciate you, Frat. We appreciate the work that you're doing. And hey, he said we just need to change the whole name altogether. What if we just celebrated Black history all the time, everywhere we went, every single day? 365 this year, 366. What if we just did it that way? Because let me tell you how something, folks, before we get out of here. And I'm telling you, we done had an amazing, amazing conversation. I'm gonna give these brothers one more good word before we get out of here. We appreciate all the comments. Everybody checking us out here on the Doc Chat. And Dr. Ron asked, was this the name of the movie? Was this what it is you were talking about? We just wanted to make sure because we wanted to get some clarification. Okay, because I might have to check that one out because that sounded amazing. Absolutely amazing. Because let me tell you one of the most interesting things I heard this month, Black History Month, folks. There was a woman that got cheated on by a man, and she put it all on TikTok for everybody to see. And people stopped their whole lives to see this woman talk about how she got cheated on by this man. That's not what we need to be hearing about as the most important thing for Black History Month. I'm sorry. We are doing too much work out here, fought too hard, came too far for us to be sitting here. And that's the most important thing we've seen for Black History Month, folks. We got to stop it. We absolutely got to stop it. We're going to go with Dr. Thompson here. Give us your last words and where people can find you. What's the last thing you will leave everybody after this great conversation?
Okay. I think every culture has like a coming of age for their kids. And I think that's another thing about where we are as Black people is, I mean, let's face it, us as Black men, we're still fighting to sort of get our feet and to find our way. And that falling down and standing up and trying to figure out and find our way is, it's a part of that process. But there's people suffer for that, right? Our children suffer for that. Different people in our families suffer for that. And I think that it's important that we create new traditions, new ways of saying, okay, of ushering our young people into adulthood that go beyond just like, oh, you got into college or something. We really do have to think of new ways to help our youth translate into. And the thing about it is, me as a coach or educator, I'll go spend all day with somebody else's kids, right? And then come home and not do nothing for my own kids. That's another thing, we spend a lot of our time building up everybody else, and we're not really putting enough into our own families and building each other up. So I just leave you with, I'm still on the journey, guys. I'm trying to find my way.
We all are. Yep.
I'm looking to collaborate, figure out solutions, do research, talk, figure things out. I just want to thank you for allowing me to be on. Like I said, I claim you. And even if you don't want me to claim you, I do claim you as a mentor and a friend. And you were one person that I could look to throughout my own doctoral journey and say, you know what, he did it, I can do it. And I just want to say I appreciate you for that.
Hey, well, we give God the glory. We are just trying to make it, and if we be flat honest, it's a miracle any of us got here. And so this is the great Dr. London Thompson, everybody. We appreciate him on today. Dr. Whitty, give us your last words, what you got to say, and where folks can find you at, sir.
I'm just still thinking about what Dr. Thompson said, because I can certainly relate. Spending those days, weeks, months, years, just being there for people, being there for whoever, and not really making yourself available to those that are right there in your own house. And I had this one friend who would always tell me about how much he admired me and the things that I have been able to achieve over the years. And we would just have discussions about family. But one thing that I always said to him was, I said, you have the most valuable thing that I said, your kids will always cherish something that you have. And he would say, what? And I said, time. I said, you may not be able to give them the things that you want. I said, but they will never forget that you are there. That's the most valuable thing you could give them. And so that is the one thing that I have regretted over the many years that I spent. Don't get me wrong, I had wonderful experiences with my job, with the military, traveling all around the world, serving others, whatever you want to, name off. I had great experiences. My family was there. We had wonderful times, but I never realized how much time that was sacrificed, not only by myself, but by my family, my kids. And that is the one thing that I regret, because you can never get it back. You can only move forward and try to build from there. And so what my thing is take the time that's necessary for yourself, take the time that's necessary for your kids, and teach them and show them and demonstrate to them who it is that they are and who they must. I'm not even going to say need. They must become. They must become. It's inherent. They have to become who they need to become in this world today, not only for themselves, but for the ones that'll come after them. And so I hope that whoever tuned in tonight got some awesome gems and nuggets to take back, and that they will apply them. As far as where you can see me, drwitty.org. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. If you look up Dr. Witty, you'll probably see me somewhere. That's all I got. My head is steaming. My head is steaming from the conversation.
Hey, that's how we leave you on the doc chat, because now he's gonna make about 3-4 podcast episodes. He's gonna crank out some books. Dr. London tomorrow gonna have those kids running faster than ever because they got that Black history knowledge in them. I'm telling you, these brothers bless my soul tonight, and I appreciate y'all, because we're talking about the important topics, and that's what we need. Hey, we appreciate you, Ashley. We appreciate all the commenters blessing us, but this was a blessing to us, and we're so happy we get a blessing to you. Now, we want to make sure we share with everybody. We do have breaking news, folks. Want to make sure we get this out here to everybody. The Doc Chat Show and the Dr. Talker book are hitting the road, baby. We will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're going to be there, folks. We are going to be there Friday, April 12th at 13 Restaurant, downtown Philadelphia, for the AERA conference. And we're going to do a meetup. We're finally going to do this meetup. Man, I'm telling you, 2023 was rough. We got the book out. We're doing the doc chat. Everybody's like, JT, when we meeting up, man? When we meeting up? We finally got our first meetup. So we are exactly a few weeks away from doing this. We are excited. Make sure you go to Open Table, get your reservation. We want you to meet us there. I already got about 10 folks that's saying they're going to show up. We trying to pack out that restaurant. We trying to let them know that Black doctors and doctoral students are here. Now, I'm telling you, if you want us to come to your town, come to your city, let us know, man. I'm telling you, let us know. We want to be there. So my good friend, Dr. Gates, she's going to be there. She's one of the writers of the book. She's in the Philly area. She's going to be there. We are so excited to finally get our first meetup. We're calling it the Doctor's Dinner. And we want to bring the Doctor's Dinner to you. So, hey, Dr. Witty, I know you down there in Petersburg, my God. Man, I'm telling you, Dr. Thompson, let us know. We'll come to Hawaii, my
Doctor's Dinner. Hey, I'm ready.
And you know, we having a whole conference out here next year. There's a big conference out here at the Hawaiian Hilton.
Okay.
It's a huge education conference out here, man.
And that's what we want to hit up, because we're educators. We're doing the great education thing, and we just want to come and make space for us. Too many times people go to conferences that look like us. They don't know who to chill with. They don't know who to go to. We just want to create space. We're doing that, and we're excited. So we cannot wait to be in Philly in the next few weeks. If you're in Philly, near Philly, let them know. We're going to be posting this like crazy in the next few months, because we want to pack out that restaurant, 13 Restaurant. at the Philadelphia Marriott downtown. We're going to be there, and it's going to be a great time. So until next time, folks, we have Dr. London Thompson. He'll be on with me in the next few weeks because he's going to be back on the Doc Chat show as we start season 3. Dr. Woody, he always going to be with me, my guy. I got to go on his show, you know what I'm saying? We're going to go on his show sometime soon. So let me give these guys one more last word. Dr. London, one more last word. Anything you got left to say?
Oh, man, I think I said everything I need to say. I'm just blown away. I really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to hanging with and doing it again. Dr. Woody, great to meet you, sir.
We love it.
I call you a friend. So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Dr. Woody, anything.
Hey, I'm gonna say this because I got a text as this text actually came in right at the beginning as it came in my mind. Dr. Thompson, you gotta help me get into the education space. I haven't had that much luck getting in there. When you said, would you say you was at 3 universities?
Oh yeah, I'm teaching at. I'm working at 3 different universities right now.
Yeah,
I'm working in.
So I'm still trying, and as you were saying that, I was thinking, oh, I need to get with you after this, and then I looked down on my phone, and there's someone texting me. You need to talk to him. You need to talk to him after you get off of this show, because they heard you say it, and they know that I'm trying to get, that same type of thing going. So
we gotta pull each other in there.
Awesome show. Humbled and privileged to be here, and I can't wait till we do it again.
Appreciate y'all. And to all the commenters, everybody that checked us out, we appreciate y'all. Hey, we like to give 1 hour of power, and that's what we do here on the Doc Chat show. Until next time, folks, I'm telling you, we're getting ready. March the 7th, Thursday, March the 7th, we're going to come back. See, I stopped during football season because I know y'all don't watch on Thursday nights, but we back on Thursday night, baby. We're going to be back, and we're going to be rocking. I got a great slate of doctors that's coming that's going to talk about their doctoral journey and all the great things they're doing. We highlight doctors of color and the things that they do. That's what we do here on the Doc Chat show. So until next time, on behalf of Dr. London Thompson, on behalf of Dr. Woody, and myself, your host, Dr. John C. Turner, until next time, everybody, we say peace out.